I had somebody ask me yesterday, wrote into me after we talked about the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. And they posed this. They asked, is Mandalorian and Grogu going to be the biggest flop that Star Wars has had as far as it goes with the movie theaters? Now, they didn't say or ask, would it be the worst movie they've ever had? That would be a totally different discussion because it is John Favreau doing it. So I've belief in him. But they asked me, would it be the biggest flop Star Wars has ever had? And I thought about that for a second. Now, if we're going to stick to the area of live action movies, then as of right now, the lowest grossing Star Wars live action film that we've had, as I switch over here, was Star Wars, a Star Wars story. Solo, a Star Wars story. And it basically made one Black Adam. It made $392 million, which was easily and by far, especially in the modern context, the lowest grossing. I mean, that was a stunner to a lot of people. Although I remember saying on Movie Talk when they announced this movie, I said, look, I'm going to be there and I'm going to see it and I'm looking forward to it and everything. But who's asking for a young Han Solo movie, especially when we just had Harrison Ford on screen as Han Solo? Mm-hmm. And you know what? I like the movie. I like Solo. I don't think it's the best Star Wars movie. I don't think it's like Rogue One or anything like that, but I enjoyed it. It was a fun little film. Made $392 million. So essentially, what you're really asking is, will Mandalorian and Grogu make more than Solo, a Star Wars story? Yeah, because when you're asking, will it be the biggest flop they've had? Well, then the current lowest grossing one is Solo, a Star Wars story. Will it make less than that? And I want to present to you a couple of reasons why I think it could be the biggest flop they've ever had, make less than Solo, and then some reasons why I believe you should be more optimistic about it. So let's start with the negative side. We'll start with the reasons why it very well could end up being the lowest grossing of all the Star Wars movies, aka 392 million, the amount that Solo, a Star Wars story, made. Reason number one, it's a TV. I mean, we've talked at length about that, but it's a TV show that we just not too long ago had the last season of. We were expecting a season 4. Instead, very surprisingly, we get this movie announcement coming out, and it's going to be difficult drawing in audiences who didn't already watch the show, and not everybody watched the show. So now that's not an automatic by itself, like, oh, if it's a TV show being made a movie, automatic fail. Not necessarily, but that's just one reason. The second reason that I think it's very well possible that this could make less than Solo, a Star Wars story, is because we're not coming off of a high note. Mandalorian season 3 was not good. It had its moments. It absolutely did. But it did certain things in it that were just eye-rolling. It was kind of a mess. It didn't kind of follow its own narrative tone very well. And by the end of it, although, again, it had some very, very decent things in the season, overall, the season was pretty bad. So they're not coming into doing this movie from a position of strength. So, I mean, that's the second reason. So number one, it's a TV show. Number two, it's a TV show that is not coming off of its best season. The third reason I think it could be pretty challenging or problematic for them is the fact that Star Wars right now is just not in a great space. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're coming off of Andor, so to speak, no pun intended. We're coming off of Andor, which I think is the best thing Star Wars has ever done since the original trilogy. Like, absolutely the best thing they've done since the original trilogy. Nothing else Star Wars has done since Return of the Jedi has come remotely close to how good Andor is. So that's great. But again, that was a TV show. We haven't had a movie in 7 years. By the time this thing comes out, it'll be 7 years. So yeah, those are three fairly large aspects of this. Well, and then I'll throw in a fourth. The trailer wasn't very good. So the trailer wasn't very good, at least the first one. They can put out better ones. Star Wars is not in the best position as it is. The last season of Mandalorian was easily its weakest. And this is a glorified TV show being brought to the big screen that still looks and sounds exactly like the TV show. So those are the reasons I think that, yeah, maybe it is possible that this makes the least amount of money of any Star Wars live action film so far in the modern era. But I do believe there are reasons one could also be optimistic. And maybe it will exceed that $400 million mark. Number one is the aforementioned Andor. Yeah, Star Wars isn't in a great space right now. I already referred to that. But at least this thing's going to be coming out on the heels of Andor, which just won several Emmys. It was like the first Star Wars thing that won the huge best writing of a television series at the Emmys. It's coming off of at least that. Granted, it was a TV show. Yes, but at least it's coming off of that. So that's number one. The second reason to be optimistic that this movie can exceed that $400 million mark and avoid being the lowest grossing Star Wars film of the modern context at any rate is because while season 3 was quite bad, the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian were great. And generally speaking, people have positive feelings towards Mandalorian. Yeah, the 3rd season was bad, but it doesn't take away how good the first 2 seasons were. And so I still think there's generally a positive feeling about Mandalorian in general, despite the fact that it's coming off of a weak thing. The third reason I think one could be optimistic about Mandalorian not becoming the lowest grossing Star Wars film is it's still Star Wars. And while Solo, a Star Wars story, had that odd thing going on where we literally just had Harrison Ford on screen as Han Solo, and now we're recasting Han Solo and doing a young Han Solo story. That was a bit of an outlier. And I think although Mandalorian and Grogu is not going to be an $800 million film, I hope I'm wrong about that. I would love it if I'm wrong about that, but I don't think it will be. I think it can still crawl over that $400 million mark, surpassing Star Wars, a Star Wars story. So there you have it. There's a bunch of reasons I feel that Star Wars will come in under the 400 million, and a few reasons I think it'll come in over it.
Guys, we want to thank the sponsor of today's episode, PrizePicks. Look, you and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right actually means you win. And with football back, there is no better time to get in on the action. You guys know I've been using PrizePicks for a while now, and it's honestly the most fun I've had engaging with the new football season already. For example, this weekend, I had Josh Allen throwing for more than 270 passing yards and Baker Mayfield having more than 2.5 passing touchdowns, and boom, I won on both. Building your lineups on PrizePicks is fast, simple, and honestly extremely fun. All you have to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and if you're right, you win. What's even better is that PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still win even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Plus, they've even got this thing called injury reboots, so if a player goes down in the first half, it won't count against you. And PrizePicks operates in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. So download the app today and use code CAMPEA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CAMPEA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right.
Rob, I pose the question to you. Is it possible here, why or why not, that this Mandalorian and Grogu movie could actually end up making less than Star Wars or Solo, a Star Wars story?
Well, first of all, I think both sides that you presented are equally valid. I think really, honestly, I think it's too early to tell to make that call because, this was a teaser trailer that they showed at Star Wars Celebration. It was really, like you'd pointed out, it's just a teaser trailer. It's more of an announcement trailer than anything else. We don't know anything about the story other than the fact that he's supposed to be protecting Jabba the Hutt's pit-fighting nephew Hutt. I don't know. I don't think we know enough about the movie to decide one way or another. I think in my mind, I'm leaning that it's not going to make very much money, only because of all the reasons you said. It's a television show. It's basically 2 episodes put together into a movie, and it's not something you can't see unless the story presented is better than the best episodes of The Mandalorian, which we don't know yet. Why make it? I mean, that's going to be a huge criticism. This better be the best Mandalorian story that's been told. Otherwise, why are we watching it on the big screen? Mm-hmm. And that, to me, is the biggest question. And I think it's too early to tell that. If the story turns out to be more season 3 than seasons 1 or 2, there's a big problem there. And I'm not convinced the people in charge know the difference because they gave us season 3. And season 3 had it had more Mandalorians, it had Bo-Katan. Season 3 should have been a banger. And it wasn't. To me, in my mind, the greatest episode of The Mandalorian was that Bill Burr episode. That episode was
great.
That was an incredible bit of Star Wars. That was an incredible bit of science fiction. That was an incredible bit of action.
It actually felt a little bit like Andor.
It felt
episode.
Yes.
Yeah, you 100%. That totally felt like an Andor episode.
And it kicked ass. And I know that might not have been that. It was more somber than the rest of The Mandalorian, but that's what I think this movie needs to deliver. It has to deliver a story that far surpasses what we got on television. Otherwise, people are going to say, and critics are going to say, why did they give us this story?
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I'm leaning in that direction, that it's not going to do well. That said, I don't really know much about the movie yet. So it's really not fair for me to make those kinds of grand proclamations. So I'm going to say that maybe, and it's my hope, that the movie will really come out and surprise me. I want nothing more than to go to Star Wars in the movie theater and love it. Please, God.
And like you're implying, we also have to keep in mind that it wasn't a good trailer, but it was one trailer.
Yeah, that's it.
The first trailer. So we've got some more stuff to see, and hopefully it'll get better as we go.
John, isn't all of our default positions that we want to see great Star Wars? I mean, my default position is I want to see every franchise give a great installment. So I want to love it. There's no franchise that I want to. It's not even in my mind to want something to fail. I want all franchise properties to be great.
Somebody wrote to me the other day when we were talking about Starfighter. The upcoming Star Wars film, said, "Man, John is really praying this movie's good." I'm like, dude, I pray every movie I go to see is good. I don't want to watch a movie and not enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I didn't. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Will Mandalorian and Grogu, a continuation of the Mandalorian TV series, will it have enough legs and enough oomph to make more than the current lowest grossing Star Wars live action film, Solo, a Star Wars story? What reasons do you think it won't get to that $400 million mark? What reasons do you feel it'll go over it? I have a few thoughts of it on both sides. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.